So our next speaker is Greg Chapman. He is the Southwest Assistant District Engineer, and he will be presenting on Forward 44 project.
All right, good morning. I appreciate the opportunity to be here this morning to talk about Forward 44 and some of the great things that are happening with the I-44 corridor. My name is Greg Chapman, as Kenny said. I am the Assistant District Engineer in the Southwest District, but I am also the project lead on our Forward 44 environmental study. So before I get going, I just want to give you a brief overview of the topics that I will touch base on today. I'm going to talk a little bit about the importance of studying I-44. I'll provide an overview of the study. I'll present the goals. I'll talk about the public engagement piece. We had a robust public engagement plan for this project. I'll talk about next steps, and then I'll talk a little bit about our legislatively designated projects for the corridor. So why should we focus on and study I-44? Well, first off, it's a vital east-west corridor across Missouri. But it's more than that. It's a freight route of national significance. It's estimated I-44 carries 1.3 billion tons of freight yearly at an estimated value of over $3.7 billion. In addition, I-44 is a jobs facilitator. It touches 11 counties as it makes its way across the state, connecting citizens to over 1.2 million jobs. The existing pavement structure was built in the 60s, and the underlying concrete is beginning to fail in many locations. It's reached its useful service life. Design standards have changed over the years. In many areas along the corridor don't meet current design standards. Traffic volumes are increasing. The 2008 study indicated that 80% of the corridor would not meet capacity needs by 2035. Ultimately, we understand the importance of I-44 as it relates to the economy and our customers. This study will educate us on the needs of the corridor as we move forward and how to best allocate funds when available to ensure I-44 continues to meet demand. Next, I'll provide an overview of this study. It covers over 250 miles of the I-44 corridor from the Oklahoma state line to Gray Summit near St. Louis. 2 consultants were contracted to perform this study. HG Consult has the western portion of the corridor from the Oklahoma state line to St. Robert. You can see the blue piece on screen. And Garver has the eastern portion from St. Robert to Gray Summit, just west of the Franklin-St. Louis County line. This study was funded through $20 million in general revenue, which covers the study, a robust public engagement effort, a tremendous amount of data collection, and the prioritization of future study segments. And then finally, this study began in February of this year, and we expect it to be completed by the spring of 2025. Next, I want to present the goals. Goal number 1, validate the outcomes of the 2008 I-44 Purpose and Needs Study. The 2008 study identified the following overarching needs for the corridor. Number 1, inadequate capacity. Number 2, safety concerns. Number 3, interchanges with operational challenges. 4, increasing freight traffic. And 5, portions of 44 that don't meet current design standards. This study will validate and update those as necessary. Goal number 2, provide opportunities for public input. Again, we had a robust public engagement plan on this study, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Goal number 3, prioritize future study segments for more in-depth environmental review. So these prioritized future study segments will ensure educated future decision-making when funding becomes available. They will be prioritized based on a data-driven approach, utilizing customer feedback, safety metrics, projected traffic volumes and level of service, percent trucks, geometric deficiencies, economic generators, and resiliency factors. So public engagement, I mentioned it earlier, is very important for us with respect to this study. We want to know our customer and stakeholder concerns, and we want to know what their perceived needs are for this corridor. We implemented a customer survey that received over 3,800 responses, and I want to share with you some of that feedback. So this is one of the questions that we presented to our customers. If you could improve one thing about I-44 in the study area, what would it be? Our citizens provide their top answers, and number 1 was safety, number 2 was congestion, and number 3 was better management of freight traffic. We also asked our customers, what local or statewide benefits would you like I-44 improvements to provide? We saw a similar response: widen the roadway, capacity improvements, again, focus on safety and freight traffic management. Here's another question that we asked, and I thought this was interesting. When traveling along I-44, where do you see the most issues? So if you start at the Oklahoma line and you make your way towards St. Louis, you'll notice that the customer engagement definitely increases as you get into Phelps, Crawford, and Franklin counties. And so, Franklin, Crawford, and Phelps counties, are the areas that see the most concern with respect to our customers and the traveling public. And I share this information. It's very valuable feedback from our customers, and it will help shape the goals for future projects along the corridor. So we just finished up our public engagement, and I want to talk a little bit about next steps with respect to the study. We expect to see the first draft of the Purpose and Need report by mid-December of this year. In addition, the prioritized future study segments will be included in this first draft of the Purpose and Need study. Quarterly stakeholder meetings. With respect to those, the next round of those is scheduled for January of 2025, where we will be providing an update to the stakeholders along the corridor. And the final Purpose and Need document, we expect that to have a completed document by spring of 2025. Next, I want to touch base on our legislatively designated projects. So I just kind of presented where we are in the study, and we still have some work to do there, but some discussion on our legislatively designated projects. So during the 2024 legislative session, Governor Parsons signed into law a $577.5 million investment in the I-44 corridor. I do want to highlight that this is midstream our study. However, there are many unfunded needs along the corridor, and this funding simply gives us an opportunity to tackle known issues. So I want to highlight what this funding provides for. First off, $165.5 million was identified in Springfield to provide for a 6-lane section from Route 13, which is Kansas Expressway west, to Route 160, and from US 65 east to Route 125. This is an additional 8.5 miles of capacity improvements on top of what we already have programmed in our STIP in the December letting, and I'll touch base on that here in just a bit. It also funds all 4 phases of the Route 13 and 44 interchange, which will greatly enhance safety and operation of the interchange. Next, $175 million at the Fidelity interchange near Joplin to provide for safety and operational improvements. And I just want to highlight that this is the intersection of I-44 and I-49 in the Southwest District. Next, $178 million for high priority unfunded needs, which provides for capacity improvements as well as pavement rebuilds at various locations along the corridor. And finally, the remaining funds will be directed towards the highest and best needs identified by the Forward 44 study. So I just want to share this Forward 44 informational graphic, and we have it on display back here in the back, but it really shows the pots of money well on I-44. So I talked about the environmental study, and you can see it at the top of the page. General revenue funded $20 million with some details. If you look at the bottom right, the general revenue funded $577.5 million, and I just talked through those projects. But over on the left, we've also highlighted our STIP funded projects as well. So MoDOT has had focus on I-44, and we have work in our STIP to the tune of approximately $433 million as well. So I've highlighted a tremendous amount of work on the corridor. With that being said, an owner-engineer solicitation went out in late September for Southwest, Central, and St. Louis districts for assistance in helping us deliver our legislative projects, but also some already programmed STIP projects along the corridor as well. They will also assist us in determining the best delivery method for these packages. And I want to highlight that each district anticipates the use of design build for sure, but also design bid build to deliver their packages. Districts will be working through the project delivery determinations for these bundles in the months ahead. I just want to give a quick overview per district of what these owner-engineer packages look like. So for the Southwest District, we put together a package of 11 projects. We have $450 million in construction funds available to deliver these projects. The counties affected are Newton, Jasper, Lawrence, Greene, and Webster. The scope includes bridge replacements, interchange reconfigurations, capacity improvements, and pavement rebuilds. And I do want to highlight that the Southwest District has selected their owner engineer, and that is Wilson and Company. Next, the Central District, they put together a package of 9 projects. I will highlight that 4 of those are in scoping, but they're looking at opportunity to move those forward. They have $100 million in construction funds available for these projects. However, there is an unfunded need there of $150 million. The counties affected are Laclede, Pulaski, Phelps, and Crawford, and the possible scope is very similar: bridge replacements, possible rehabs, interchange reconfigurations, capacity improvements, pavement rebuilds, and they have also selected their owner engineer, which is WSP. And then finally, the St. Louis District, they put together a package of 7 projects, $150 million available to deliver those. Franklin and St. Louis counties are affected. We're looking again at similar scope: bridge replacements, rehabs, the interchanges, capacity improvements, the rebuilds. They have also selected their owner engineer, which is AECom. And I do want to highlight this note that MoDOT has a team goal to have all owner engineers under contract by mid-December. So I've highlighted a tremendous amount of work and opportunity coming to the I-44 corridor, and we look forward to partnering with industry to deliver this work. But before I finish today, I do want to share some contact information. So for the Forward 44 study, I would direct you to the left hand of the screen. forward44@modot.mo.gov. That's our email address, and that goes to the core team on the study. Please send us an email if you have any questions, and we'll get back to you quickly. I also want to highlight the Forward 44 website. Simply Google MoDOT Forward 44. It's the first thing that pops up on screen. That website is up to date. There's an opportunity for you to sign up. Anytime anything changes, you'll get notifications. The 2008 study is out there as well if you want to take a peek at that. So that's the contact information for the study. For the I-44 legislative projects, each district is going to be managing those projects. And so I want to highlight the contact information for each district. So for the Southwest District, it's Christy Bachman. For the Central District, it's James Beatty. And the St. Louis District, it's Stacy Smith. With that being said, thank you for the opportunity to be here, and I'll give it back to you, Kenny.
I just want to point out that funding, that $577 million in funding for I-44 wasn't really approved by the governor until June. And we already have industry engaged in starting to work on those projects and hopefully get those jobs out to construction as soon as possible. And that's really, as we get that general revenue, that's what we have to do. We have to get that work out there quickly and show progress so that they believe that we're able to deliver these projects quick as we put those, as they give us the funding that's available to us.